One of my favorite studios from Nintendo is Monolith Soft. They've consistently made incredible, massive RPGs and have been instrumental in launching some of the biggest IPs for Nintendo, like Splatoon, The Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and more. And recently, they had a big update in terms of their own internal team size and what I think is going to be huge heading forward for the team as they work on that massive Nintendo Switch 2 title, potentially Xenoblade Chronicles 4 or a Xenoblade something. So we're going to talk about that and more in just a bit. But before we do, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch RPG videos, Monolith Soft updates, and more first as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this. Shout outs to my man Stealth over on Twitter. He always has the beat on these type of things, so make sure you guys go give him a follow at Stealth40K on Twitter/X. Also on Blue Sky, Stealth40K. Now let's jump in to what he had to say here, because there was an update on Monolith Soft team size, and this is something that Nintendo has talked about before. What they need to do in order to make sure that they can keep up with the new hardware that's coming, having the employees to get it done. So Stealth says, Monolith Soft says they have nearly 300 employees now. They recently had a 25th anniversary party bringing together the staff from the Tokyo and Kyoto offices. As of December 2023, Monolith Soft's official employee count was 262. With the hiring they've been doing to fuel their next large-scale RPG, it wouldn't surprise me if they are in the 280 to 290 range. I fully expect their next game will be revealed at the Nintendo Switch 2 showcase, which is something that I've also stated as well. Stealth also goes on to say that Monolith Soft made Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when they had under 150 employees, so that was back in 2015, 2016, 2017, leading into the launch. They didn't even have 200 employees until 2019. The Monolith Soft entering the Switch 2 era is almost a different company than the one from the start of the Switch era. So this is very important overall in terms of everything that he said. But once again, mirrors some of the stuff that I've been talking about Monolith Soft and showing off their next big game at the Nintendo Switch 2 event. Monolith Soft and Nintendo have a habit of doing this somewhat recently, or at least showing the game early. You can go all the way back to the Wii U. Back when Nintendo was in dire straits, they showed off Xenoblade Chronicles X way too early, just calling it Monolith Soft's X, or just X teaser trailer, or whatever it was. And it did take some time before we got it, but once it released, it was a masterpiece with Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now we're going to get a chance to delve back into that world with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly who is on that in terms of what their teams were and the compression of that type of game, how they got that done. I think that that's going to be one of the best interviews. If they do one of those Nintendo developer interviews like they've just done with Mario and Luigi Brothership, I think this is going to be incredible to see the insights on how they brought this game over to the Nintendo Switch after saying that it was going to be very difficult to do so a number of years ago. But getting back to what they're doing in terms of the team size, this is going to be very important heading into the Nintendo Switch 2, or not even heading into it, already into the Nintendo Switch 2, because they've been hiring for this next game, and they've been essentially done with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 since 2021, because a lot of the details from that game leaked in 2021 late. And we know that they moved the game up. It was supposed to launch later in the year. They kind of swapped places with Splatoon and they got it out earlier. So it was done. It was sitting there done for a while. So Monolith Soft has absolutely been working on the next thing now, going on probably about 3 years plus at this point. So I do feel that they will have something ready for us for that Nintendo Switch 2 presentation, or at least in that first year that the Switch 2 is revealed. I fully expect Monolith Soft to have something for us at a Nintendo Direct. One more thing. They've been the one more thing at many different Nintendo Directs throughout the life of the Nintendo Switch, but this employee count is going to be huge for not only supporting what Nintendo does with the next Legend of Zelda and Animal Crossing and Splatoon, but also making sure that they can have a core and a nucleus for their big JRPGs that are core titles. They don't sell the biggest or the most, but they're core titles and have been proven to be profitable. So I fully expect Monolith Soft to not only continue hiring, but then also make sure that they have some of the best in the industry to make their world-class games. I'm very excited to see what they do next with this big Monolith Soft Xenoblade, whatever the heck title it's going to be for Switch 2. But here's what I do know. I think that they're going to actually make a few moves here, and I think they've actually got enough clout at this point from everything that they've done with the Xenoblade Chronicles trilogy. When they do their next game, whatever it ends up being, I do feel that it could be one of their most successful games, if they're not most successful game. I think that they've learned so much when it comes to the marketing, the sales, the type of game, the technology, and I feel that the Nintendo Switch 2 will finally be adequate for what they're trying to do. A lot of times Monolith Soft has been working behind the 8 ball when it comes to the technology. Their games almost seem too big for what Nintendo has. That was definitely the case with the Wii. It was a little bit of the case with the Wii U, not so much, but the problem was the RAM and system memory. That was an issue. Wii U kind of ran into those issues as well. They got it figured out though by Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but there were still limitations. I feel that this will be the best set marriage between the developer and hardware in terms of what they're capable of and what the system can do to really bring out the shine and what Monolith Soft has to offer. And that right there, with better resolution, frame rate, world detail, fidelity, all of those things will highlight their game even better and get more people to actually buy in, maybe even if they're not all the way into the in-depth RPG systems that Monolith Soft does bring to the table, because that's one thing that some people have complained about, and I think that holds it back just a bit with that. I think that those limitations will be almost all removed at this point with the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that they're going to have a heck of a game to show off when it comes to a complete title. Graphics, gameplay, music, Monolith Soft always brings it, especially when there is a new system coming out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Monolith Soft has, and this employee count of nearly 300 is absolutely a good thing as the team continues to grow and adds to their ever-growing talent pool of incredible developers. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next thing here. We've got a potential Nintendo Switch 2 sighting from Satisfy. Well, maybe not. So shout outs to D19 over on Twitter, and he had this to say: Satisfy accidentally put a trailer for their upcoming product, the Zen Grip 2, for the Nintendo next gen console, and in it, they just show the Nintendo Switch 2 in it, like straight up. Just show it. It's blurred a bit, but not much. That is our first official Switch 2 look. And then he also follows it up by saying they have since deleted the trailer. So here's the thing that I will say to this. This could be a publicity stunt from Satisfy. I just recently got the Zen Grip Ronin for the Nintendo Switch OLED, and by far they sell the best grips for the Nintendo Switch. Their grips have been fantastic. This Zen Grip Ronin is really good. It can dock with the Nintendo Switch OLED. It feels great. It makes the Joy-Cons actually feel incredibly comfortable to play the games. You still retain that HD rumble with the Joy-Cons. You can swap different Joy-Cons and not have to worry about not having certain features that are built into it. It is fantastic, and it makes me want to play portable a lot more. So I want to give some love and give credit where credit is due when it comes to satisfying the products that they bring to the market. But I don't really think that this is a Nintendo Switch 2. I think that this is them essentially trying to drum up hype for their product. They already have pre-orders that went up. It could have easily been a publicity stunt because they had pre-orders and said next-gen Nintendo system. So they already teased things. So if they actually had a Nintendo Switch 2, they'd be NDA'd. There's no way that they would accidentally put the Nintendo Switch 2 in the grip, then show it. But it was a staggered PR hit because at first they say next gen Nintendo system, top secret and all that. Then all of a sudden they have the Zen Grip 2 when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 and they have the system in there and then they delete it right afterwards. That is just way too much of a coincidence, and there's no way that they would actually have it there. It's probably a 3D model or it's a Nintendo Switch OLED. It's blurry. Nobody has any clear shots of it. And the reason why it's blurry and all that, because it's intentionally done. It's probably a 3D model. They saw the 3D model that was put out there from one of the leakers or something like that that's been out there. There's been plenty of stuff on it. And they essentially did the same thing, but let's blur it. Let's put it far back. Let's do all these different things in order for it to not be seen. And that's that. But to me, there's no reason why they would do this. They would be under a huge NDA if they actually had a Nintendo Switch 2. So this is a publicity stunt. I don't think it's actually a Nintendo Switch 2, but I do feel that they think, or at least maybe they have the dimensions of the Nintendo Switch 2 so they can start selling their grips and all of that. But don't think of it as an actual legitimate leak. That would be so silly for them to do something like that and then to put it in a video and then to say, oh, we're going to delete it real quick. Oh, we made a mistake. It's like, come on. Come on, that's not something that actually happened here, guys. So, I mean, don't take it as it's a legitimate leak. It's probably a 3D print. It was probably Nintendo Switch OLED, and they put a little button on there to make it look like the leaks that have came out, the little second button. That's essentially it, guys. It's nothing more than that. So, what do you guys think? Yes, Nintendo Switch 2 is coming. Yes, it's going to probably be awesome. Yes, it's going to be great. People are going to enjoy it. But there was one comment that I saw people in there because they took this as fact. And one person was like, interesting to see that the Switch 2 will probably end up being a new Nintendo 3DS situation. And that is false. Based off of the information that's been released and based off of the stuff that developers have said so far and anything that we've gotten from tangible sources, the new Nintendo 3DS was not a brand new system. It was an upgrade to the Nintendo 3DS, and it was a slight upgrade to the Nintendo 3DS that had very few amount of exclusive games and a very small power bump. It wasn't a massive power bump, all things considered, like in today's day. Now, it was a good bit above what we saw with the Nintendo 3DS, but it wasn't anything crazy. The Nintendo Switch 1 to the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a full generational leap. It is going to be a massive leap based off the leaks that we're getting here. We're getting stuff like 12 gigabytes of RAM or right around that. That is significantly more than the Nintendo Switch. We are getting a much better mobile chip so far from what we understand, T239 when it comes to that. And we're also getting stuff like DLSS that would not happen on the regular Nintendo Switch. You're going to get games that definitely have way better looking fidelity and frame rates and all sorts of stuff. So that is not going to be the case. The new Nintendo 3DS did not provide that in conjunction with the Nintendo 3DS. Like in terms of comparisons, no, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a next generation jump. So think very much like the Nintendo DS to the 3DS. That's what I would compare it to. The DS was okay, but it was pretty rudimentary in a lot of things. But the 3DS upped it a lot more. It was way better. So it was going from like a 64 to about like a GameCube, right? That was pretty much the jump that we're looking at here. Very nice jump, very good, but essentially the same concept of a machine overall from the DS to the 3DS, the dual screen. Same thing here, the Nintendo Switch 1 to the Nintendo Switch 2, same concept. You're going to have the anywhere play, the docked play on the TV, the portable play, probably with a few extra gimmicks thrown in there as well. But that's essentially what this Nintendo Switch 2 is probably going to be. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here, guys. And that is another rumor here. Apparently, Metaphor ReFantazio is going to get a TV anime adaptation. It's reportedly in the works. Now, this is being reported by Anime Rave over on Twitter. And it says, the Siren, Atlas's Metaphor ReFantazio TV anime adaptation is reportedly in talks. Metaphor ReFantazio is currently nominated for Game of the Year 2024, and it's nominated for a host of other categories, I think 6 categories or so at the Game Awards. That will be going down this Thursday, that I will be live streaming, reacting to the whole show, pre-show, after show, so make sure you guys show up for that. Just hit the notification bell. You'll know when we're going live. It's going to be a lot of fun when it comes down to, we always have a lot of fun streaming the Game Awards. So this could be possible. Obviously, there was anime cutscenes in Metaphor ReFantazio that look great. The game obviously has a smooth, sleek anime aesthetic. It's oozing that type of style. And I could absolutely see there being a Metaphor ReFantazio anime in some way, shape, or form. They did it with Persona a bit. They've done it before when it comes to Atlas stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised, but there is no confirmation at this point. It's still a rumor. And this person is not giving up any sources. When David Cast JRPGs asked, what's the source on this? He did not respond to him at all. And this account has not put any type of response in terms of where they heard it from, if it was their own personal source, or if it was from something else. So we're going to have to, like I said, just slow our roll on this one real quick, guys. It could happen. It could not. It's still just a rumor. But I would not be surprised if Atlas did something like this, especially after the huge response the game got. Pretty much right there at launch, it sold 1 million copies, and they've continued to get more sales since it got down to $50, and it's going to probably get a big boost with the Game Awards being nominated for so many different things. So yeah, I expect Metaphor ReFantazio to have a long life in front of it as a franchise and potentially even get an anime or a movie or something like that. So What do you guys think about every topic that we discussed here when it comes to Monolith Soft and their next big Nintendo Switch 2 game? Satisfy and accidentally leaking the Nintendo Switch 2, which they didn't do. And of course, Metaphor ReFantazio potentially getting an anime. Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.